Hi friends, welcome to Coffee Break with Dr. Michelle Alignay. It's Tuesday. It's Coffee Break at 1 p.m. live streaming here in my FB page, and it's also available in Spotify and YouTube. So welcome friends. We're going to talk about a topic that it's less talk about but is very needed at this time. So join me for the rest of the next 30 minutes to talk about self-compassion. Have you heard of this word before? Gusto kong tanungin yan. How do we perceive this word? But before you answer, friends, sa mga nandito na in this live streaming, I would like to ask you, are you kind to yourself? Friends, are you kind to yourself? In in a level of 1 to 10, can you grade how kind you are to yourself? Ayan. Magandang pag-isipan mabuti yan. In a scale of 1 to 10, are you kind to yourself? Mabait ka ba sa sarili mo? So please comment at the comment section. I would like to see your answers. Good afternoon to everybody who's here. Hi, Lourdes. Hi, Belle. How are you today? I hope that we can have a very meaningful conversation. So, because this topic, when was the last time that you think about and you heard this topic? Have you heard this topic before? Is it a topic that we often talk about? Baka hindi. Kasi honestly, parang when our topic is self-compassion, hindi natin parang culture na pag-usapan siya, and sometimes tayo mismo, we don't know how to manifest it in our lives. So I hope that you will learn, and I hope that you'll be honest with yourself. So kung kaya nyo, friends, can you grade yourself? How kind are you to yourself? And I'm taking my afternoon tea. By afternoon, either tea or coffee. Can you grade yourself 1 to 10? 10 being the highest, 1 being the lowest. How kind are you kind to yourself? Can you answer my question? Are you kind to yourself? So rate yourself at the scale of between 1 to 10, 10 being the highest. Can you do that, friends? Can you do that? Can you do that? Because this will help you become more aware of what's happening to you, and it will help you more aware of what you're going through right now. So I hope that you will really rate yourself. I hope that you will consider that. So self-compassion. When we hear about self-compassion, oh nice. The others are just starting to rate themselves, which is thank you for participating. We often hear compassion as a way to be kind to other people. Tama ba? Narinig natin to as a way to treat other people, as a way to deal with other people. It is, if you remember, no, seeing compassion, it's a way for us to feel and to be one with the suffering of other people. Just paghihirap nila, we are one with their pain. So when we access compassion as an emotion, we can tune in to the suffering of others, and that is good. There's nothing wrong with that. What is not becoming healthy if it's becoming all about other people? Nakakaawa sila, tutulong tayo, we're giving our all. And I think our culture has programmed us so much and so hard that we think about the suffering of other people, but our tendency is to overlook ourselves. And our tendency is that we give everything, we give all to others, but we fail to really give something for ourselves. Tama ba? Nakikita ko yung mga nandito, meron 3, meron 8, meron 5, meron 4. And I really commend you, friends, for being so brave and for being so honest in your scores. Let me just share with you why am I talking about this topic. Baka sabihin nyo, Dok, pero para naman malayo dun sa mga topic natin. Hindi. I will let you see the connection. Compassion compassion as we see it, it is about other people. So when we talk about self-compassion, it's about ourselves. And we see it sometimes as self-indulgence. No, let me just tell you that self-compassion, it's about treating ourselves with kindness and with understanding. The way we treat other people with kindness, intindihin natin siya, alagaan natin siya, let's be kind to her, then that is something on how we treat ourselves also. That is something to consider. Compassion actually is very much connected to our emotional well-being. That is very critical. Mental and emotional health are together. Coping with life challenges, ayan, sa mga pagsubok sa buhay, in the process, sa dami ng nangyayari, sa dami ng emosyon nararamdaman, how kind are we to ourselves? And another one, it also is connected. Studies have seen that it's connected to lower levels of anxiety and depression. So being self-compassion, it's being self-compassionate, being compassionate and kind to ourselves is actually a way for us to protect ourselves from mental health concerns. That is the main reason why I would like you to understand this. And also, self-compassion is forming healthy habits either in varied ways. So what we're talking about in self-care, being slow, it's actually the main core of those is our compassion for ourselves. Because when we start being compassionate to ourselves, when we start being quote unquote kind to ourselves, do you know that it helps us build better relationship? Because unang-una, we sit down and we take care of our relationship with ourselves. Ang madalas in adult life, honestly, sa dami ng nangyayari sa buhay natin, that's why if you see the topic, it has a progression. The topic that I started with this year, it's being slow, and then the next one, it's self-care. So magmabagal, take things, being mindful, and then self-care. Because when we start slowing down, we take care of the little things, pero lumalalim yan. At yung pinakamalalim dyan, it's the core of it, it's really being compassionate with ourselves and showing ourselves the degree of kindness. So, I would like to ask you, for those of you who were here, for those of you who are watching last week, were you ever, when was the last time that you were kind and you tuned in to your own needs? When was the last time? Kung kaya niyo isulat kung kailan at ano ang ginawa niyo sa sarili niyo, please do so. When was the last time that you are kind and you listen to yourself? When? When and what did you do? Any thoughts on this? Any thoughts on this? Meron bang brave na magsasalita at magko-comment sa mga friends na nandito sa atin ngayon? Anybody? When was the last time that you are kind to yourself and you are very kind to yourself? You're very kind to yourself. You're, you know, uh, paano natin tatawagin yun? Inasikaso mo sarili mo at nakinig ka sa sarili mo. Somebody says, yes, balik yoga. Yes, that is nice. What else? When when things don't go well as you planned it, are you kind to yourself? When there are just some things that are not going the way you hope it would, or Tagalogin natin, pag ang daming pumapalpak sa mga plano mo, and if you feel that everything that you put your hands on, it's a failure, how are you with yourself? Kumusta ka sa sarili mo? When, when we're trying to go with the motions of life, um, ang dami nating nasikaso. How are you with yourself? Maricel said, spend Sunday with family instead of work. Eh, dapat lang naman. Sunday is really for family. Sunday is really Sabbath for rest. Remember? It's really not for work. And then Jennifer said, balik yoga. Yes, I love it. Hindi lang balik, yoga pa. I love yoga. Okay. So when you talk about slowing down, it's being mindful. Self-care is taking care and treating yourself with care. Pero do we treat ourselves with kindness? Kasi baliwala that we are taking care of ourselves but we are still not kind. Nagiging self-indulgent yun. 'Di ba? Parang outer, physically, we are just trying to take care of ourselves but internally we are still not kind. Meron nagsabi, January, for the first time, I bought my own jewelry. Lourdes, congratulations. Belle, last night, I chose myself. I sleep early. This morning, I do hula hoops. I'm kind to myself by not overthinking. I move my body. Perfect. See, these are little things that we can do, little things that we have been doing. I have good news for you, friends. And this is not good news, but this is bad news. Are you ready? I would like you to realize that good things are here, but bad days will also come. Hindi mauubos ang mga hindi natin gusto. Problems will always be part of our lives. As I always share, problems are not the problems. Coping, our ability to cope is the problem. So, are you coping with compassion? One of the ways for us to cope is to build our self-compassion. Issues will come. Sabi ko nga minsan, parang hindi naman mauubos yung issue. Hindi naman maubos yung problema. Either ako yung maubos or sila. Unahan tayo. Pero bakit natin uubusin yung sarili natin dahil lang sa issue? So, we either be defeated, matalo, depleted, naubos, or we deliberately confront or we deliberately cope deliberately with action, with taking it by the horns. Hindi lang basta pinadaan mo lang. Because there are just some things na we really need to do deliberate about. And this topic, ayoko siyang palampasin because it's a beautiful connection to the slow, to self-care, and now it's about self-compassion. Self-compassion, I would like you to realize self-compassion allows us to be present at the moment. So, mindfulness, being slow. It's just not being slow because we want to be tamad. Being slow, it's not being lethargic. Being slow, it's actually cultivating that self-compassion. I am kind to myself. Dinadahan-dahan ko para hindi ako mabigla kasi hindi ko kaya or there's just too much. So, ito na lang muna. Choosing, 'di ba? Choosing that this is the better way for me at the moment. It may not be the same things every day. Your day might be different every day, but there are days that you choose to work on a little aspect of your life because that is what you're able to do. And there's nothing wrong with it. So self-compassion allows us to be more present, to make the most out of our daily life. Namnamin ang mga bagay. So ako, ninanamnam ko, nakausap ko kayo, kahit na ang kausap ko lang is that little hole here in my laptop, so meaning the camera. But at the same time, I am trying to be mindful that I am here in my house, talking to people, reaching you wherever you are in other parts of the world. Am I coming clear? So that is really being present. Another one, self-compassion. We work on it. We work on it. We work on being kind and gentle to ourselves. You know, um, what I realized, we have been programmed growing up na kailangan galingan. Kailangan mabilis, kailangan matapos, kailangan the best. Who among you can relate? Press heart or put that in the comment section. Ano yung mga programming natin? We need to excel. We need to be the best. Magkaiba yung do your best or be the best. Magkaiba yun. I am just blessed that my parents, I think, ang lagi nilang push sa akin, do your best. It's being, ang kalaban ko, sarili ko, hindi ibang tao. Pero diba, our system has asked us to be fast, to achieve, to be the best, and to compete. Diba? There's a comparison system. And being that, if we are not aware of our tapes, meaning our programming, kung hindi tayo aware sa programming natin nung maliit tayo, we will we will not be able to be kind to us. Yes, it's the belief system. It's what I call it's we can also call it our programming or our tapes, meaning tape, 'di ba? Yung tape, remember the cassette tape, the recording? It's the internal recording. We are not conscious of many of it. But come to think of it, when we are stressed, what's our usual pattern of doing? Do you pause? May talagang dami-dami mong gagawin. Do you pause and recalibrate? Or do you go and push yourself harder? What's your answer? Pag tayo nasa-stress, pag sobrang daming gagawin, ano ang reaction natin? How do we react? Do we push? Or do we push harder? Sabi nga nila, laban lang. Eh, sabi ko sa inyo, ayoko talaga nung term na laban lang. Kasi wala naman tayong nilalabanan. Or do you pause? Because that is what we raised to be good according to our parents. Yes, but good does not mean that we can do it differently. Diba? Um, so so here, I like what you're saying, Jade, that so Joy, sabi mo, push. Our parents want to give the life that they dreamed about, but is that the life that we like? As young kids, I think it's okay. But as adults, we are always in control. If we are being controlled by our programming earlier when we were young, and it's no longer helpful for us, and then it will cause a lot of problems. Diba? So friends, sa lahat ng nangyari, push harder until you break down. Push pa more, push harder. Pause and have a massage. Hi, Sel. Go and push myself harder. This is me, pandemic, nakakapagod. Joy. So all of you, tama naman eh. Kasi madalas tayong ganyan. And now in the pandemic, we realize that it's not working. It's not helpful. I am not saying that it's wrong. I am not saying that it's na it's not good. But what I'm saying that there are occasions, there are circumstances, and there are challenges in our lives that pushing ourselves too much to the point of breaking down, it's no longer healthy, it's no longer helpful. Are you with me, friends? Can you say pushing may not always be the solution? Can you put that? So if pushing is not always a solution, we have to be kind and gentle to ourselves. So we have to move away from that pushing forward, pushing further. If the circumstances are asking us, are the circumstances of our lives is asking us, hey, be kind. Hindi na kaya ng katawan, hindi na rin kaya ng utak, hindi rin kaya ng saloobin. Diba? So here, this is where our self-compassion would go inside us. To check natin, am I kind to myself? Um, and and having said this is actually inviting you to third. So self-compassion allows us to be present, to be mindful. The second is that self-compassion, we work on being kind and gentle to ourselves. And the third is it shifts our focus. It shifts our focus because we are being programmed that it's all about the result, but in reality, right now it's about the progress. It's about our our progress, or it's about the journey that we're taking. Pushing, it's not always the solution. That's another way of shifting. It's not pushing, but maybe it's pausing. I love the word, but I have a program called Martha's Pause. So it's pause that's the problem. When we pause, we don't say that we get stuck. When we pause, it just means that, hey, wait, I am just recalibrating things. I am just going to plan my way, but I'm going to move forward after this. So that's it. So here, Self-compassion, if we know how to be compassionate with ourselves, we know how to sit down and we know how to shift our focus. Alam natin kung paano natin, teka, ano yung direction ko? Hindi lang tayo magpapadala kung anong sabihin ng iba, hindi lang tayo magpapa-anod sa komento ng lahat. Hindi lang tayo magpapa magpapahila kung ano yung call of the majority. It's not gonna be bandwagon. We're not gonna be part of the band. Rather, we're gonna make our own harmony, right? So pause, it's really an invitation. So either are you the pause kind or the push kind? Can you put that in the comment section? So where am I inviting you? Am I inviting you to push or to pause? Depende. I'm not saying that this is perfect for all circumstances. So number 4, self-compassion creates a life that is meaningful and purposeful. Bakit? I like this. Self-compassion, and we are kind to ourselves. We are more attuned in the present moment. We work on being kind. We shift our focus rather than perfection. We look at the progress. Rather than pushing forward always, we look at how we can pause and recalibrate. Um, and I would like you to realize that the main thing with self-compassion, if we know how to be compassionate and kind to ourselves, is that we create a life that is meaningful and purposeful. So kung we are kind to ourselves, for example, whatever work you do, either you are an excellent awardee in your company like Michelle Villaruel, it's okay to push yourself, but do not forget to pause and reward yourself after a battle. Tama yan. I agree. I miss you, girl. So, if we are like that, either kung ano man ang trabaho natin, like here, ang trabaho ni here ay pagandahin ang mga babae, pagandahin ang mga taong tulad natin. Hi, Care. If we are creating a life that is meaningful. If we are kind to ourselves, hindi tayo magpapadala lang kung anong idikta ng iba. Adults na tayo. Friends, that's why this is something that as adults would be able to relate with. When we have self-compassion, we create a meaningful and purposeful life. Tama, Joy? Kasi you can be working in a company, you can be working in a very small business, but your work has meaning to you. Your work has a purpose. You have a purpose. Merong kabuluhan at may kapakanan yung ginagawa. Hindi lang tayo nakikiuso, hindi lang tayo kung anong sabihin ng parents natin, at hindi lang ito kung ano na lang ang available. No. Being compassionate with ourselves is being kind with ourselves and being the best person that we are so that we can be more meaningful and more purposeful in our lives. Is that clear? Am I coming to you clear, friends? So, ang hirap ba ng self-compassion? Posibleng mahirap siya. Pero alam nyo, I would like to start with this. There are so many areas that we can reflect about on self-compassion. But for this afternoon alone, we will continue this discussion next Thursday. But for now, I would like you to start with yourself. Check how you talk to yourself. How do we cultivate? How do we enrich ourselves with self-compassion? I would like you to first step, check how you talk to yourself. Check also your thought patterns. Ano yung madalas nasa isip mo tungkol sa sarili mo? Do you call yourself maarte, mayabang? Do you call yourself stupid? Do you call yourself tanga? And then check how you talk to yourself. Lagi ka nalang palpak, laging walang saysay. You know, when you talk to yourself, being self-compassionate is talking to someone you love with gentleness, kindness, and compassion. Kaya nga sinasabi natin, check how you talk to yourself. Self-compassion, it's like talking to your best friend. That's why self-compassion is cultivating a relationship with yourself. Hindi masamang kausapin yung sarili because we do healthy self-talk. But if your talk to yourself is degrading, ikaw mismo, binababa mo yung sarili mo, ikaw mismo, you are not treating yourself with kindness and love, and then you have to check that. So the first thing you can do to cultivate self-compassion, check how you talk to yourself. Okay, so if you have checked also your mindsets na lagi na lang negative, you have to remember number two, say things that are life-giving because words are very powerful. If you always keep yourself, you keep looking at your mistakes, you keep looking at your weaknesses, then it's not going to be helpful. You have to look on how you are actually helping yourself to uplift you. Kumbaga, kahit ano pang sabihin nila, kahit anong komento ng ibang tao, pero sa sarili mo, I did well, alam ko I gave my best. And I tap you and I believe in you. 'Di ba? It's being we are the first person to talk to our inner self to be able to give her or him a boost. So that is self-compassion. Say what is only first, check how you talk to yourself or check your thought patterns. The second one, say things that are life-giving and uplifting. Ang galing mo, Joy. You're always, and taking down notes. The third, when you notice that you are harsh, if you are harsh to yourself, be appreciative of the little things. Friends, ito yung mahirap. Lagi natin tinitingnan yung resulta, hindi natin tinitingnan yung progress. Hindi natin tinitingnan yung maliliit na bagay. So, kumbaga, kung meron tayong 10 to-do list in a day, pag 3 lang nagawa natin, sabihin natin, ano ba yan? Napaka-unfulfilled ko, parang walang kwenta yung araw. Wala akong nagawa. Meron ka nagawa. 3. Maybe it's not perfect the way you thought it would be because you have 10, but then you got 3. And I know that you put effort on that. And you appreciate the little things. You appreciate a hug from your child, a kiss from your husband, an I love you of a friend. Uh, like here, I really appreciate where where is Melanie? You always keep saying beautiful words and very inspiring. Thank you. Thank you for saying that. This is uplifting and this is life giving. And if you are giving it to me, I hope you're giving it to yourself, everyone. So let's start being okay. Let's start being appreciative, friends. Can you write there in the comment section? I appreciate myself today for. Yan. So, I appreciate myself today for what? Can you complete the sentence? I appreciate myself today for. So, simulan natin ang culture of appreciating ourselves, cultivate compassion. Sabihin mo dyan sa akin, sabihin mo sa comment section, declare mo sa mundo, sa mga taong nanonood dito at nakikinig ng coffee break, what are you appreciative about yourself today? Just today, what do you appreciate about yourself? It may not be big. We start small because that is important. And lastly, oh no, not last. This is the fourth one. While I'm waiting for you, number 4, we have to be patient with ourselves, with our growth and our progress. Di ba connected yan? While if we are talking harshly to ourselves, we have to also be patient with ourselves, our growth and our progress. You know, my big word for the year 2021 is growth. I hope I will not grow in size, but grow in my heart and expand the things that I share with you. I will also grow in my relationship with the Lord. So those are the things that I hope to grow from. So let's see how you appreciate yourself because here, be patient with yourself. And when you start appreciating yourself, ang dali to be patient with yourself. Kasi, there's this old quote that I love since maliit na, I think I was in high school. I love quotations when I was in high school. Ang sabi nun, be patient, God is not through with me yet. Can I put it here? Be patient. Parang it's like a placard we bring. So lahat tayo, pati mga kasama natin sa bahay, mga kapamilya natin, kaibigan, everybody, God is not through with us yet. We all have our struggles, we all have our weaknesses, and we all go through a process na unique sa atin, sa isa't isa. Hindi pwedeng sabihin na, ako nga um, in 5 months naka-recover eh. Hindi naman tayo pare-pareho. Ibang usapan yung 5 taon, di pa tayo nakaka-recover. Pero, let's not compare our process. And it's not, process of healing, process of improving, hindi yan pa ganun. Hindi yan accelerating. Minsan, bababa ka na naman, tapos aakyat ka, bababa ka na naman, aakyat ka. And, yan, when you start also being patient with yourself, you can see the little things. So let me see, I appreciate myself today for being kind-hearted. Jade, how are you kind-hearted to yourself today? You have to be specific, but it's really a good start. And then next, Poach, how do you say it? Pooch, I appreciate myself today for accomplishing my task. Very good. Joy, I appreciate today for listening to a friend's rants and problem despite your busy work schedule. Maricela, I appreciate myself today for pausing. Thank you. Lourdes, I appreciate myself today for taking a day off to rest. Wow, what a fitting day for you. Bingkai. Hi, Bingkai. I appreciate myself today for starting my day with the Lord, make 7 steps, and prepared healthy meals today. Amen. Kay. Hi, Kay. I appreciate myself today for being able to finish my reports and prepare for my talk later. Bless your talk, Kay. Okay. I appreciate myself today for I ate my favorite food, banana. Di ba? Ang babaw. Ako, what I can say, I appreciate myself today for staying with my routine, my morning routine to take yoga kahit na tamad ako. Kanina parang I want to sleep longer but I said no, I need to do this for my body kasi hinahanap ng sarili ko. And I appreciate it that I put 20 minutes, kahit 20 minutes, kaya lang parang hindi ko na kaya yung routine na kinuha ko. So, okay, I am kind. I'm not after the length, but I'm after the good workout that I have. So, I really appreciate the body that I have to, being strong just to do. I realized one time that the mere fact that I can hold on to planks, hold on to upward dogs and do downward dogs and sun salutation, it's really something. I'm not saying that I'm comparing myself to others, but I saw that I am strong enough to glide and flow through it. And I really appreciate that. And I appreciate it for not fretting. Ang daming dapat gawin. Ang dapat asikasuhin. And I really appreciate myself for thoughtfully taking note of the little details in my morning until now. Somebody said, uh, I appreciate myself today. I pamper my face. Huh? Jade, kind more with my teenagers by listening instead of doing the litany. True. Okay. And we can just name. See, I like it that you are telling me. For those of you who would replay it, when you are listening, while we're listening, please also note down the little things that you appreciate. Wag natin, kasama ko sarili ko, wag natin pipirin yung sarili natin ng appreciation. It's not being indulgent, it's not being mayabang. Kasi we are affirming our little progress, we are affirming ourselves. We're not gonna broadcast it in our social media feeds. Hindi natin i-announce at gagawing diary yung ating social media platform, and hindi natin yan i-announce sa buong mundo. But being kind to yourself is tuning in to your progress, being patient, and as a result, we go to number 5. We know how to respond rather than react. Alam natin, pag may nangyari, pag may problemang dumating, we don't automatically react. Hindi parang, ay, na naman yan. Why? Because we are kind to ourselves. We can go slow. We are taking care of ourselves. We know we are in control. And we have the inner resources. We are in control of how we respond to it. Not in control of many things outside us, but we are in control of how we respond to circumstances. Hindi mo mawala ang problema, So this in the we're still in the middle of pandemic. Wag nating intayin ang vaccine, wag nating intayin na we we run into more problems. But what I encourage you, friends, let's vaccinate, let's fill ourselves with the right kind of slowness and mindfulness. Let's fill ourselves with the right kind of self-care. And more importantly, let's start giving ourselves a dose of kindness and self-compassion so that we can be armed for the blows and imperfections of life. I hope that this is helping you, and I hope that we can we can talk about this further on Thursday. So if you have comments, if you have some things that you would like to share, if you have some things that you would like to put here in the comment section, if you have insights that you would like to affirm yourself with, put this in the comment section and we'll start about that, and we'll talk more about self-compassion on Thursday. See you again, friends, at Coffee Break with Dr. Michelle. God bless you all.